Known as the Network, these promoters used cash payments, cocaine, women, free trips, and even threats to get their records played. During this period,
how much? This would sound so bad, but how much is KSI's Stick of It worth? Real talk. Are like Captain Sparkles' Minecraft parodies?
You don't know me, you know me. That was 3 years ago, shot it, this the know me.
The Mafia, Sabrina Carpenter, and Spotify conspiracy. Fellas, as you may or may not know, I'm the #1 Sabrina Carpenter fanboy in the world, bruh. I support her through thick and thin. I was there in them streets, Cuddy. The Disney saga, I was there. And now you got me singing, Mitchell. Cuddy, I go back to whatever the case. All right, I'm the biggest Sabrina Carpenter fanboy in the world, Cuddy. On y'all's mama. On y'all's souls. On y'all's souls. All right? But regardless, this video caught my attention. What do you mean the Mafia, Sabrina Carpenter, Spotify conspiracy? What ties does Sabrina Carpenter have to Tony Soprano, bruh? What? Now, this is done by the legendary, amazing, some may call him sexy, someone, Wendigoon. Now, I love his content, but it's really baffling to me, really shocking how he would do a video like this that has no validity. No actual, essentially, what's the word for it? No validity, no backbone. It has nothing to do. There is completely no way that the Mafia and Sabrina Carpenter and Spotify are all in a grand cahoots intermingling with one another. No way, Mr. Goon. No way. But again, I'm not coming up to this bitch with an open mind, man. With an open mind. Like I don't know, what is an open mind? I have no idea where that analogy would go. I'm not going to hold you. But regardless, let me stop yapping. Let's get straight to it. Let's go.
Picture this. It's late at night and you just had a long day at work. The kids are tucked in.
Oh, Wendigoon, you're assuming a lot of things about my future that I don't think I would get. Kids! I got to find someone first, Cuddy. A job! Ah! Whoa, Goon. Assuming a lot of positives here, buddy. In this job market. Cuddy, better be me coming from a long day of, like, I don't know, bro, off the street, Cuddy. POV, computer science majors.
Tomorrow's meals are prepped. Most of you guys are probably children, so your parents prepped your meals. And you just took the dog out for his evening bathroom break. All ready to go.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, my dog probably shit on the floor. Okay, honey, stop pausing. It's not relevant to the video. I just want to watch the video. Shut the fuck up, all right? Well, shut up, Cuddy. I can't share life stories with y'all. I can't share nothing. No. Fuck you.
Finally, it's time for bed. But despite a hot shower and some melatonin, you're wide awake. That elusive REM sleep evading you as the minutes tick by. But fear not, it's 2025 and we have our ways of drifting off without having to count sheep. So you open Spotify and find a relaxing, chill serotonin sleep playlist. You know.
I really wonder, what is the weirdest way someone uses to what is the weirdest sound people use to sleep? I mean, it's so dead ass. You think someone sleeps to LeBron highlights unironically? Like dead ass. You think someone has actually fallen asleep or uses LeBron or Kevin Harlan commentary to fall asleep? Or what if someone is so obsessed with Wizard 101? Do you think they would have Wizard 101 sounds in the background? Just a massive, long, no commentary gameplay, just sleep to it? I'm genuinely curious. Would a sex addict sleep to porn? What about a hardened criminal, or a terrorist? Would they sleep to I don't know, CS:GO background sounds? Someone needs to document this shit. You know, bring me in to fund my research.
As the name describes, your eyelids are finally getting heavy. After a few ambient instrumentals and even some rain and ocean sounds, you're getting there. Sleep is just within reach. And then suddenly, a pop top 40 song with an earworm of a bass line kicks in, immediately destroying whatever you had going.
Fuck, it sounds awful. Could I be mad as... I mean... Mr. Goon, that sounds like a true blessing, buddy. I don't know what you're complaining about.
Your eyes open, wide awake now. You hear the lyrics and feel your blood boiling. Now he's thinking about me every night.
Beer! My fault, gang. I was knocked out a bit. That's why I'm playing. THC-infused beverages. Double high fever.
Isn't that sweet? I guess so. Say you can't sleep, baby. I know. That's that me espresso. Yeah, Sabrina. We know.
Kill that, Sabrina! Cook this fraud!
That's right. Pop sensation Sabrina Carpenter on a sleep playlist, singing about how she is, in fact, the reason you now cannot sleep. And no, this isn't just a bedtime story. It's real life, and it happened possibly to hundreds of thousands of people over a span of several months.
I am so jealous of those people.
So how did this happen? Did someone just accidentally add the song? Or is there perhaps something more sinister at hand? Well, we decided to make a whole video about it, if that tells you anything. Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about if Spotify is artificially boosting songs in ways that get really annoying, and who may be having them do this and why. We're going to go ahead.
I would assume before, predictions, parlays. Yes, I feel like they do boost songs in like contract clause, I would assume. Because again, if you didn't know, I am a Spotify executive, right? You know, I know I'm a lot of things: voice actor, sex symbol, Spotify representative. You know, I'm a lot of things in life. So they boost a lot of like songs, you know, bro. Except Raw Wave. I'm motherfucking trash. I ain't do that shit with Chipper Red. I'll make sure of it. As a Spotify executive, you gotta take profound care to like recognize which songs are valuable enough to boost up, and you know, contract clause, artist. But if the artist is trash, you're trash, and I personally am responsible for that shit. Dude, imagine.
Get into it, but as always, thank you for watching. So how did so many people end up with the same song infiltrating their playlist, no matter how unrelated those playlists were? At first, people thought it was a glitch. But after hundreds of thousands of users on Spotify started noticing the same thing happening to them, it became clear that this might be intentional.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just espresso either, with users sharing similar experiences with Tommy Richmond's $1 Million Baby.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. If I wake up to Tommy Richmond's $1 Million Baby, I would kill myself. Like, no shade to Tommy Richmond, wherever he is. No shade to, like, the TikTok audio shit. If I wake up or like my REM sleep is interrupted by then I would want to bash my head into like a wall a bit.
And Chapel Roan's Good Luck Babe. Users on social media began speculating that this phenomenon was actually the result of an arrangement between Spotify and the record labels in order to boost streams for certain artists and specific songs.
That's Sabrina!
When shortly thereafter, Espresso ranked #1 on Spotify's most streamed songs globally, suspicion only increased. One of the first...
Hold on. Lou, am I getting all this fuck? But who are these people? I know Billy. I know Joe, Hosier. Okay, The Weeknd, Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Teddy. Who is Teddy Swims? Who is Flow Miner? Is that okay? Flow Rider? Chris MJ. Well, it says globally, so I'm assuming these people are from, like, you know, these other artists are from, like, Latin America, Australia, and Europe. But, you know, at the same time, who are these people? I've heard of Benson Boone. I've heard of the Big Double B. I've heard of him.
#1 on Spotify's been popped up was on Reddit.
Why is the
on
audio?
Reddit's r/pop culture chat. First places this notion popped up was on Reddit. On Reddit's r/pop culture chat, people shared how espresso showed up in a variety of playlists one wouldn't expect it to show up on.
Just a Christian playlist. Gospel music. Man child.
It's like meditation, heartbreak, a jogging playlist consisting of techno and house music, a Hosier-based comforting rain morning collection, and even a Dora the Explorer bedtime stories playlist. It is kind of funny because like espresso starts kind of quiet and then the first verse kicks in with a really loud chord. So I'm just imagining like
so many interrupted
4-year-olds listening to soft Dora the Explorer stories, and then it's like Sabrina Carpenter kicks down the door and they all start crying.
I just imagine it. So imagine that with like Big X the Plug. Like I just imagine some like church, right, setting up for a prayer or whatever the case may be, whatever church it is, and they're putting music in the background, and all you hear like in Big X the Plug's like loud, deep ass voice. Since I'm the biggest, the largest.
Additionally, in June of 2024, Carpenter's Please 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 held the number 2 position in 100% of the top 50 Spotify artist playlists. Now, for playlists built around similar pop musicians like Ariana Grande, Miley Cyrus, or Beyonce, this wouldn't seem out of the ordinary.
Exactly.
But Carpenter's hit singles were appearing on artist playlists belonging to the likes of Frank Sinatra, Kendrick Lamar, and 21 Pilots.
Tell them other bums to get their numbers up then. Well, how you gonna blame Sabrina, Mr. Goon? And if you didn't know, listen, as the biggest Sabrina Carpenter fan in the world, Sabrina Carpenter has ghostwritten for Kendrick Lamar before, bro. How this is not known already? To Pimp a Butterfly, all Sabrina Carpenter's own personal experiences. Yes.
You know, artist where the second other artist you think of isn't Sabrina Carpenter. Could it be that in one summer, Sabrina created 2 of the most viral records in the history of streaming? Or, you know, a more fun answer like, does she have incriminating photographs of the Spotify CEO? The theories
Probably.
were as vast and widespread as her presence on the platform itself, but a relatively new service on Spotify called Discovery Mode confirmed what the public was hinting at. This was a matter of payola. Or in other words,
Algorithm?
pay to play. So let's back up and explain what I'm even talking about. See, long before
Hey, Bob,
Spotify
BC.
and Pandora, before iTunes and Napster, I guarantee like half of my audience has never heard that word before.
What, Napster? I've heard of Napster before. As a 21-year-old, I've heard of Napster. God, I'm old.
The music industry thrived on profits from physical media, CDs,
These
cassettes,
albums, yeah.
vinyls, and so forth.
Yeah, when 50 Cent lost to Kanye.
Back in those days, a song's
God, I'm old.
popularity was almost exclusively due to one thing and one thing only.
CD sales.
The radio. Before some time in
dumbass.
the 1960s, record labels would pay off radio stations' DJs under the table to play the label's songs in order to drive popularity and increase sales. To be clear, these are DJs, as in disc jockeys, who would choose the selection of songs to
Wait, that's what DJ stands for? Disc jockeys? Really? I never thought DJ has an abbreviation. Disc jockeys. Ew, sounds old. Yeah, ew, disc jockeys is awful. That shit needed an abbreviation. That shit is nasty as hell because that shit sound ugly.
played and would occasionally talk between songs, introduce the next track, etc. I'm not talking about like EDM or club DJs. I mean, I guess one of them could also be a disc jockey, but
Oh, different. Okay.
I don't think they were around before 1960. Anyways,
Maybe.
these payments were essentially bribes. Off-the-books cash from labels meant to give their own production the edge over musicians on competing record labels. This practice would be known as payola. Pay because of, money, pay, you get it. And ola because of the naming convention
Hola.
of various music products at the time. There was the pianola, the self-playing piano, the Victorola, a phonograph, and a
What the fuck the dog doing though?
brand of records named Amberola. So it's like a joke. Oh, there's the pianola, the Amberola. How'd you get your money on the radio? Oh, I just played the payola. In 1959, the House Subcommittee on Legislative Oversight learned about this practice, not only in music, but on television as well. An investigation into several quiz shows
I ain't gonna lie, when nigga, where your furniture at? Like, damn, that shit clean as a mug, Mr. Goon. Damn. No chair? No poster? Cause that shit look like my apartment. Damn, Goon. Nah, I'm playing.
not only revealed to lawmakers that many of these shows were rigged, it also introduced them to payola as a concept. After several congressional hearings, it became clear that payola became a common practice, especially in the music industry, and specifically as it related to radio broadcasts. And it wasn't just cash. Forms of payola included jewelry, cars, clothes, mortgage payments on homes, and even vested interest in record companies.
I want to know what the most obscure way they used to bribe someone. Hey, Cuddy, you play this new Trippie Red, bitch? This new 21 Savage? Hey, Cuddy, I'll grind your 2K player, bitch. I'll wash your car. I ain't gonna lie though, if I'm like a disc jockey and someone trying to bribe me to play some new fucking Rod Wave, you might have to be like, I don't know, he might have to be my like fucking like housekeeper for like 2 years for me to let that shit slide. Like that ass, Cuddy. If you were a disc jockey right now and someone came up to you, hey bruh, I'm finna play you this Uncle Aaron ass track, Cuddy. This 2025 Snoop Dogg ass track, Cuddy. What are y'all willing to get? What are y'all wanting, bro? What are y'all wanting? I'll do that shit for free, honey, dude. I love Snoop Dogg. You lying. You lying. Stop right there. You lying.
Basically anything that would qualify as a bribe. Dick Clark, the famous radio and TV personality,
Why are y'all laughing at that? Why are you laughing at my man's name, Cuddy? Immature asses.
who hosted America's Bandstand for 3 decades, held an ownership stake in 33 different record labels, distributors, and manufacturers.
They making bank.
One of the companies, Jamie Records, was a label which made American guitarist Dwayne Eddy famous and returned a profit of $31,000.
I found this site called box.gg
Suck my dick.
that'll let you unbox packs on their site and they'll ship the physical cards straight to you. They've
Okay,
got
hold on. He might be cooking.
Back to Clark. President Dwight D. Eisenhower, with the help of the Attorney General,
Why my man got to stand, though?
reevaluated the goals and obligations of broadcasters like radio stations. Eventually, amendments were made to the Communication Act of 1934 to include employees of these broadcasters, including radio station DJs, requiring them to explicitly announce when and by whom they were being paid, or as we know them
Like
today,
sponsors.
sponsors.
Yeah.
With a lot of life changes coming up, I understand how
What a transition. This is how you notice, man, Wendigo been in the game for too long, Cuddy. His ad sponsors are smooth. I've seen so many of these, like, I guess, I mean, this is not really a dark topic, but Wendigo discusses a lot of dark topics. But, like, I've seen so many of other dark topic covering YouTube channels. The way they transition their ads is funny as fuck, bruh. And after this single woman of 5 was murdered in cold blood with 5 world cutting slashes. Shit looks like a fucking Da Vinci painting. It was mayhem. Her children starved. They couldn't afford food, eventually leading them to die. Which brings us to our sponsor, Wizard 101. Like, you know what I mean? But that transition was smooth as shit. I'm not gonna lie, goon.
stressful it can be to manage your budget. And the worst part is when you're
I beat the system, Cuddy. I don't have a budget. Jokes on them, Cuddy. I'm broke as fuck.
managing your budget and find out you've been paying money for months on something you didn't even know you were subscribed to. Well, thankfully, today's sponsor, Rocket
Hoodie
Money,
memberships.
has you covered. Rocket Money is the all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. There's a ton of things Rocket Money can help you do to not break the bank, like cancel unwanted subscriptions. Once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all of your subscriptions in a single list.
Is Rocket Money monitored by an actual person? Like, imagine if you're a Rocket Money like employee and you're notifying someone like of their subscription to fucking, I don't know, bruh, Sophie Rain's OnlyFans. Are they just laughing their ass off? Like, god damn, bruh. It's not even a good one. Hey, just a little. Imagine if Rocket Money had DMs, big. It's so stupid. It's not even funny. But like, I'm just imagining some fucking internet Rocket Money DMing a customer like, just to let you know, big bro, we're spending a lot of money on OnlyFans, man. Bro, why you subscribe to baddilfs.com, bro? Just letting you know, gang. Damn, could you subscribe? Hey, I ain't gonna lie. If I work for Rocket Money, I'm saving y'all money though, for real. Like, hey, could you subscribe to League Pass? Hey, bro, just to let you know, there's a few couple sites where you can go for free. I'm just saying, you should be a pirate. I'm sending a Luffy gift.
From there, you can select the ones you don't want anymore, and Rocket
Cancel.
Money may be able to help you cancel with just a few taps.
Ooh.
It can even help track your spending with things like
Nice.
automated savings, where it analyzes your accounts and
Who the
determines
fuck is calling me, dog? Hello? Hola, hello? Hola? Hola?
Afternoon. My name is. I am giving you a quick call because in the state of North Carolina, the government has recently introduced final expense plans at a highly subsidized rate that you may qualify for. What the? May I know your age, please?
What? He hung up on that shit, could he? Is this y'all? Y'all nothing to get me, government. I'm above the law.
normal time to save, or create custom budgets.
Watch, I fucking say that shit. I did the SWAT, SEAL Team 6, bruh. A bunch of champion ELO motherfuckers stomping Stop, he just shows up on my door, lights my shit up, cause he switched cheese to me, bro.
Will send you notifications based on your spending. Rocket Money can even help you lower your bills. Rocket Money will automatically scan your bills to find savings. With just a couple of taps,
That's cool as shit.
Rocket Money can help negotiate your bills for you, from internet service to cable and phone bills. No need to worry about customer service calls. Let the app's negotiators go to work for you to try to get the best possible rate.
Damn, cause he Rocket Money. Who that guy they use as a test dummy? That man subscribes to so many things. You got money.
Rocket Money has helped save its customers up to $740 a year when they use all the app's premium features, and they've helped customers save over $500 million in canceled subscriptions. When it comes to finances, it's good to have someone in your corner, and let Rocket Money be that special someone.
Or just don't have money.
And if you want to get in on Rocket Money, then now's the perfect time. You can join the 5 million members currently using the app when you go to rocketmoney.com/windagang or click the link in the description to get started for free.
You hear my man? Support these original creators, bruh. Golly, fuck me. Leave me alone. They're not finna sponsor my ass. Support these guys.
That is right, for free.
Okay,
it's
let's
gang
go.
for sure. Notes you during the channel heard a ton about
I'm not gonna lie. I thought that shirt had a boob window for a sec. I'm not. Dude, I'm not gonna hold you.
how explicit people need to be when they're being paid to promote something. If you'll notice in all of my YouTube ads, there's normally a sentence in the first 10 seconds
That'll
of
let
the
you know it's a sponsor,
sponsorship
yeah.
where I say, thanks to today's sponsor.
Yeah.
And that's not an accident. The government is very strict, and therefore brands, on making sure that you're aware when I'm being paid to say something.
yeah.
And also, it's just
Common
nice.
courtesy.
I mean,
Yeah.
even if you're posting a promotion to Instagram, you have to put something like #ad in the caption. But back then, this was all new ground, and the rules were being made up as they went along. At these congressional hearings, several radio DJs testified, admitting that they had received money from recording. When President Eisenhower, as mentioned earlier, began to reevaluate how sponsorships were managed, there were a series of congressional hearings. And at these hearings, several radio DJs testified, admitting that they had received money from recording companies. But they claimed the payments were not in exchange for playing specific records during radio broadcasts.
Okay.
One DJ from WBZ in Boston acknowledged that from 1957 to 1959, he had received more than $6,800. To put it into perspective, that would amount to over $74,000 today.
God damn. For what?
From record labels for his cooperation in playing their songs.
Exactly. They lying.
However,
Okay.
he claimed these records were only promoted at record hops,
Okay.
or in other words, a big dance event or party, and that the payments did not influence his decision to play these songs on the actual radio
yeah.
broadcast.
Are you lying?
Sure. No,
Yeah, right. Cause lie, bro. You could have come up with a better lie, man.
they just gave me money to play them at a party, and I played it at the party a lot, and I played the song a bunch, and no one ever mentioned the radio. I just came up with that one myself.
Right, Cuddy, right. Who under your table, bitch? Why are you making weird faces every 12 seconds?
And then would you look at that? Conveniently, they gave me more money for more songs. What a coincidence.
What a
Another
coincidence.
DJ, this one from KYW in Cleveland, argued that although he was regularly being
I got DJs in Cleveland? I thought it was a bunch of like tumbleweeds for real.
paid by record companies, it was not in exchange for a commitment to play their specific artist, but rather to listen to what the label had submitted to the station for consideration. Most radio stations at the time received so many records each week, the DJs simply couldn't listen to every single one. The payments, he said, were merely to get the disc jockey to pull the label's records from the pile and give those records a shot, or essentially money to bump their songs to the front of the line. You can see where this might create a problem. The labels didn't simply want DJs listening to their artists' songs. I mean, they didn't pay that money
Prioritizing
for
them, yeah.
one dude to hear it. They wanted those tracks to make their way onto the air. A
Prioritize,
DJ
yeah.
could claim he was giving them a fair shake, but after enough time, you would imagine the labels would stop being incentivized to pay someone who would merely listen to their songs without actually playing them. Hence, for a DJ wanting those payments to continue coming in, he would probably feel
Play
some
them more.
pressure to actually put those songs on air.
Yeah.
Even if they never said it, the implication from record labels was certainly
Enough.
that they expected some of these songs to make it to the radio. At a hearing,
But what if that song was just too trash, though, bro? Like, I feel like there's got to be one DJ with not even, I wouldn't even call this integrity, but like, the song was just hot ass. Like, imagine if, what was like a trash song, bro? I don't know. Like, if the KSI's Thick of It track was like in the 60s or 16, well, the 1916s, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, and the DJ was like, bro, I need the money for rent, but this song is just cheeks, bro. You know, I want to know if there's ever been an instance of that. That'd be so funny, dude.
The aforementioned Dick Clark told the payola committee, quote, "Believe me, this is not as unusual as it may seem. I think the crime I have committed, if any, is that I made a great deal of money in a short time on little investment. But that is the record business."
Man, fuck you, Clark.
Real cocky language from
Yeah.
a guy who was doing something that became illegal immediately afterward.
Real cocky language for a guy named Dick.
Earl Kintner, the chairman of the FTC at the time, argued for payola to
Why?
be regulated.
Could you use up to
Oh my
$750? Find it at BioLife.
Shut up.
Up to $750 is waiting for you.
Let me the fuck alone, Cuddy. Thank
As
you.
he said,
Thank
quote,
you.
"Radio audiences were wrongly led to believe that the record broadcast were chosen objectively for their merit or popularity." Basically, people thought that they were hearing songs because
they
the
were
song
good.
was legitimately good or organically popular,
Yeah.
not because someone
It was
paid the
paid for 'em,
station
yeah.
to play it. As a result of this legislation and the Communication Act amendments of 1960, the number of payola cases went down considerably, and several DJs were fired for having accepted it,
Damn, fired.
including the internationally beloved Alan Freed, best known for popularizing the term rock and roll. So the next time
Really?
someone like your dad says, "Oh, did you know the term rock and roll came from a radio DJ?" you can be a know-it-all and say,
Yeah, he was fired.
Yeah, did you know that he got fired for payola deals, which means like money under the table? And then that person probably won't
Well, yeah, we'll be mad and beat the shit out of him.
talk to you anymore, but you know, who needs them? However, despite these new rules, one group with surprising connections to the music industry found a way to break them, as they often did.
Yeah.
The Mafia. Yes,
Oh.
that is right. As far back
I thought he was gonna say some shit like, "Oh yeah, they instead of using money, they use like a middleman or some shit." No, it was the Mafia. Oh, Tony Soprano needed a Sabrina Carpenter bit.
as the earliest days of jazz music in the 1900s, the Mafia were players in the music game. Master pianists like Earl Hines and crooners like Frank Sinatra and the rest of the Rat Pack rubbed shoulders with the biggest mobsters in American history.
I know about Frank.
Hines himself worked for the mob while in the middle of a 12-year residency at the Grand Terrace nightclub in Chicago, owned by Al Capone. Capone had ownership in at least 5 other clubs around the city. Hines held money for gangsters and overheard conversations about mob hits, and after Capone engineered the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1927, Hines said, quote, "There's not a single big name of the show world, Duke Ellington, Cab Calloway, Louis Armstrong, who hasn't at one time or another had contact with the syndicates. The racketeers owned me too." And it was
God damn, could they call the syndicates?
it's more than just the clubs. Mafiosos held positions at record labels, managed artists, and financed albums, all using cash transactions to launder money between operations. They also ran jukeboxes, profited off entry covers at clubs, and drinks at nightclubs. They owned stakes in record stores and participated in direct payments to artists. Cash flow from masters and copyright publishings of hit songs allowed Mafia-controlled businesses to place their accumulated capital in various pools. Basically, the music industry offered a huge opportunity for money laundering. The half of you that aren't children are probably old enough to have seen The Sopranos. That's the
Yeah.
reason Hesh was in the show. Basically, just think of that. But there was also the opportunity for cross-selling. Music businesses like nightclubs and record stores could be made into vendors of other Mafia-controlled businesses, and they often were. The mob could also easily bootleg vinyl records and cassettes, selling them at below retail price, undercutting their competition, effectively printing money. The owner of the Roulette Records label, Morrison,
Damn, could they caught my man off guard too, bro? He was beating his shit. Surprise!
Levy, was known for having a long-standing connection with the Genovese crime family. Levy used the family's money to finance his business ventures, and what had started as a silent partnership eventually turned into Levy's offices being used for mob-related meetings. Again, see The Sopranos. In 1990, after having been under FBI investigation for years, Levy was convicted of extortion, but died 2 months before he was sent to prison. Or in other words, he
Murder.
got whacked.
Yeah.
And music industry relations made the mainstream in February of 1986 when NBC Nightly News aired a
That's Skip Bayless?
report on a, quote, small but powerful group of 30 independent record promoters who influenced which records got played on the top 40 radio. Known as The Network, These promoters used cash payments, cocaine, women, free trips, and even threats to get their records played. During this period,
How much? This would sound so bad, but how much is KSI's Stick of It worth? Real talk. Or like Captain Sparkles' Minecraft parodies, the Coldplay one. Dude, never mind. I'm not gonna finish what I'm gonna say. Okay. But theoretically, hypothetically, what drug would be worth that? You know what I mean? How much? Which baddies would be like attained? Is it like a tier system? Like if your song is this good or this ass, you get this amount. Like pimps, you know what I mean? Or like drug dealers. You know, I really want to know, is there like a metric system or like a formula with the, y'all know like the Drake formula they use to like fucking calculate alien life and some shit? Well, maybe y'all don't, I don't know. But like you know, some shit like that, like a quadratic formula where like this song, shit, this amount of women, drugs, whatever the fuck, this is the outcome. And again, how much would KSI Stick of It be worth? Minecraft parodies be worth? Mine at Night, I ain't gonna lie, Minecraft's Mine at Night might be worth like 5 baddies and like 2 bricks. Or like, I don't know, it's a shit one. Or the Living to hey, Cuddy, how much would the Living Tombstones, the FNAF songs, how much are they worth? I ain't gonna lie, you might get like 50 baddies and like 600 ounces. Cause you finna look like fucking what's this dude from Snowfall? Shit, what's his name from Snowfall? Damn it, what's his name? Frank? It started with F. No, it's gonna kill me. 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 Franklin Saint! That's what it was. Franklin Saint. Thank you. Thank you, bro. Holy.
radio airtime was determined mainly by Radio and Records, a music industry trade publication that published a weekly list of what was popular on about 250 of the country's radio stations. This created a cycle where big songs got even bigger, so record companies and independent artists wanted to be played on the radio stations that reported to Radio and Record. This is where the network thrived, and over time, a process and culture for pitching radio stations through payola developed in order for labels to break new songs and artists. Because otherwise, since it's a snowball effect, when people hear a song is popular so they listen to it more so it gets more popular, it can be hard to break into that cycle unless you do it under the table deal to get the kickoff. In January of 1986, an undercover task force agent bumped into an undercover FBI agent on Manhattan's Madison Avenue when both parties were tailing notorious New York gangster John Gotti. Gotti was on his way to a meeting with Fred DeCipio and
Who's this bald ass? Golly, egghead.
Joe Iskro, 2 men in the network. An NBC News camera crew led by reporter Brian Ross was following DeCipio and turned the meeting between the mob and the network into a nearly 7-minute news segment that led to a federal grand jury investigating the record label Payola. As a result, Joe Iskro and 2 other defendants were charged with 57 counts of related offenses, but the case was ultimately dismissed due to prosecutorial misconduct. Because it's always something stupid like that. Prior to the 1980s, a multi-million-dollar scheme was uncovered in 1973 involving Columbia Records, one of the biggest companies in the music industry, both then and still today. It all began with a grand jury indictment of Pasquale Falcone for a multi-million-dollar heroin smuggling operation. Falcone was a former talent agent in New Jersey who represented multiple artists under Columbia's banner.
Truth or dare?
Let me sleep.
Truth.
I just ate mood with my dad.
Ew!
When the FBI investigated Falcone's activities, they found bills to Columbia Records for a fake trucking company that never performed a single legitimate service. However, what it did do is smuggle heroin from Canada to the United States. So yeah, sorry we never got those, records sent out, but we do have a lot of heroin.
Yeah, that would do it.
In the investigation, the FBI also found memos to David Winshaw, Director of Artist Relations at Columbia. The memo detailed cover-ups for personal expenses of Columbia's president Clive Davis, who had embezzled $87,000.
God, what a fucking cranium, dog. Golly.
From the company for his personal use. Both Davis and
Wait, hold on.
Winshaw
I
were
just peeped. Is that a fucking afro with sideburns combo, bitch? Oh, Lord. You need to be sentenced to, like, Alcatraz, bitch. Golly, make him fight Jobber from fucking Gotcha Yakuta or some shit. Cause this is a heinous. You know, one of his friends had to have told him that shit. Like, hey, cause that shit is not it, dog. That is some bullshit you got on, bro. Like, come on, whatever, dog.
Fired along with Anthony Rubino, the director of marketing administration. Reports showed that Columbia was cheated out of around $2 million, most of which went towards the purchase and movement of heroin. Clive Davis was sued for the money he embezzled, but was never officially criminally charged, and went on to have a lucrative career at RCA and Sony.
Naturally.
Because, you know, of course he did.
Yeah.
But that was then, right? What does any of this have to do with Sabrina? No,
Nothing.
I'm not about to loop this entire video around and say she's connected to the Mafia, although that would make her really cool. Today,
Really funny.
largely as a result of those controversies and scandals, FCC rules have changed dramatically. Specifically, the FCC requires broadcasters to announce at the time of the broadcast if something they play is sponsored, paid for, or provided by anyone with vested financial interests.
You'll never hear that shit from me. I ain't gonna lie, though. You, all the sponsors don't want me, Gutty.
Payola,
And the only ones that do are like AI slop.
as you might assume, is in direct violation of these rules, which is exactly why the policies of music streaming apps like Spotify are so interesting. Because all these rules I've talked about, you know, the results of decades of dirty money, bribes, legislation, and crime, they don't apply to Spotify.
Really?
That's right. Spotify is a purely digital platform, meaning they don't operate on any public airwaves, meaning the FCC
loophole.
does not regulate them. And this is how an app where
Oh,
most
so most of it, yeah, okay, that's just getting paid under the table, bitch. That's just getting paid under the table, bitch. Okay, no, I got you. Okay, yep, it is. Okay, that's facts. Okay, never mind. Yeah, they finna do that shit, Cuddy. But what about the integrity of record label deals? Anyways.
people get most of their music nowadays can participate in something like payola, consequence free, which, you know, insert allegedlys and whatnot here. But also it's weird for me to be talking about the problem in a lack of government reach or a lack of regulation in something. And while that would normally be the case, here the lack of reach is allowing potentially companies to push products onto people without their knowledge.
And the product could be ass, Cuddy. I'm not trying to hear the new fucking, I don't know, bruh. I'm not trying to hear no fucking, I don't know. I'd be mad as shit if someone decided to put a Flight React song in my goddamn playlist, bit. No, could he give me my Aaron May, my Isaiah Rashad, J. Cole, Smino, Daniel Caesar, give me all them junks. All right, you could keep the raw way for Trippie Rare, bruh. Who's a trash ass artist I do not like? Who's that fat fuck? Lean in my cup. Dave Blunt. Like, if I hear a Dave Blunt song in my playlist, bruh, I'm sorry, but that app getting deleted, bitch.
It's ultimately hurting the consumer at the benefit of the provider.
Hurting my ears.
Which is, you know, not as cool as just letting me blow stuff up when I want. So we know why payola was outlawed from public broadcast, and we know about the controversy behind pop artists like Sabrina Carpenter having their music artificially pumped into listeners' headphones, which I should also mention probably had nothing to do with Sabrina. She has a record label. The record label makes money off the songs. I highly doubt Sabrina went to Spotify, you know, under the cover of darkness in like a trench coat with glasses and was like, hey, I got a deal. But in 2024, there was another controversy that seemingly everyone in pop culture became fixated on.
Roblox.
The rap beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I mean, even I couldn't get away from it. I did a Red Thread episode going over the history of the beef. And I'm not going to get...
Wait, what? You did? Okay.
Into the whole back and forth here. I'll have that episode of the Red Thread linked in the description.
I'm watching that shit off camera, bitch.
No more. But their beef certainly hit a climax when Kendrick put out his song, Not Like Us, on May 4th, 2024. This song was a hit, winning all 5 of its Grammy nominations. To date, it is the most streamed diss track on Spotify. And as most of you probably know, he even sang the song at the Super Bowl.
Bowl.
But what's most relevant about this song for our topic today
Is Drake's
are the
response.
accusations Lamar makes about Drake within his lyrics. Included among them is the allegation that Drake is a sexual
pedophile.
predator and, quote, certified pedophile. The track cultivated a massive cultural response both online and off. What was Drake's response? To file a legal action against Universal Music Group, or UMG, a label that shares both artists as clients. Drake also filed suit against mass media corporation iHeartMedia. According to his claim, UMG made covert payments to a number of platforms,
To boost the
including
song,
radio
yeah. I heard
stations,
about that,
to
yeah.
play and promote Not Like Us without disclosing those payments to listeners.
And did y'all hear about it? UMG basically said, Drake, fuck you. That's basically what they said in their like response. I don't know if he's going to cover this, but hold on.
Drake, in essence, was accusing UMG
Of
of
boosting.
payola. Before we get into it, I want to announce that there is new Wendigoon merch available right now. And I guess also Goon/Gang merch. Goon Gang sounds terrible. Cut that. That's because right now, for a limited time, you can get in on the Brainwash collection. The Brainwash collection is available for a limited time, and then it's
I
gone.
mean, I'm
for
not going to
good.
lie. Them shorts not that bad. I ain't going to hold you, Mr. Goon.
Get in on this, head to the link in the description. Radio, the stations around the country. This would be expressly forbidden by law. Because again, the reason Spotify gets an exemption is because they're not broadcasting, it's all in platform. But if this is accusing iHeart, then that's certainly illegal because that goes back to radio. According to Drake, the 900 million streams, oh my gosh, that's a lot. The 900 million streams that Not Like Us had garnered weren't solely organic. The track's popularity was, again, according to the lawsuit, the result of bot-generated plays and strategic playlist placement, ultimately pushing his own music down the rankings while elevating Lamar's. UMG responded publicly multiple times. In Rolling Stone, a UMG spokesperson said that the company, quote, employs the highest ethical practices on marketing and promotional campaigns. And ultimately, it's the fans that choose the music they want to hear.
Damn, fuck you, Drake.
Which I'm not picking a side or saying this applies to the Kendrick.
Roku Ads Manager puts Roku's reach within your reach.
God.
Sign up at ads.roku.com.
Shut the fuck up.
Drake thing, I think it's pretty clear publicly who won that,
Yeah.
you know, based on the lyrics and content of the beef itself. But anytime a spokesperson for a company like UMG says they employ the highest ethical practices,
You know they lying.
like,
Yeah, they're
okay.
lying. Yeah,
As
okay.
we've already established, the concept of fans exclusively choosing the music they listen to isn't really true.
Yeah.
But whatever, corporate response, I guess. In March of
W corporate
2025,
response.
Drake privately settled with iHeartMedia, and a source from the company stated that no payments were made to its radio stations. However, as of July of 2025,
Oh, they lying. Oh, they did make payments. Damn it, they did. Whenever the shit is settled in court, you know good and well they did that shit, bruh.
Drake's lawsuit against UMG is still ongoing. There are rumors surrounding the witness list suggesting that Kendrick himself may be called as a witness, but these are unconfirmed. Time will tell how that plays out. And again, with this specific case, I don't think it really would have changed how either artist was viewed in the public spotlight.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of people that were keeping up with every song, checking it out immediately as it came out, I think the dust would always settle in Kendrick's favor.
I remember I was in my car recording videos when that shit dropped, Cuddy. The fucking, I know about your daughter, Drake. I hate you. Like, not even the Not Like Us, the one before that. I know about your secret daughter, Drake. Like, he...
But it wouldn't be
What a
out of
time.
character for a media company to push a song they thought would get them plays. Whether you agree with Drake's beef or not, part of the issue he seemed to have was related to Spotify's algorithm and their practices with boosting hit songs, something we already addressed at the beginning of this video. A song going mega viral isn't just good for the artist, it's good for the platform.
record, yeah.
Which
Or
brings
platform,
us
yeah.
back to Spotify's
I'm done. Look, I need to try to sound smart. Fuck you.
discovery mode, the somewhat new feature in question following the espresso scandal. Introduced at the end of 2020, Spotify released a statement about this mode at the time, saying, in part, artists tell us they want more opportunities to connect with new listeners, and we believe our recommendations should also be informed by artists. Soon, we will roll out a test of a service that gives artists a say in how their music is discovered.
Oh, they're getting their dick sucked under the table, bitch.
In this new experiment,
that gawk.
artists and labels can identify music that's a priority for them, and our system will add that signal to the algorithm that determines personalized listening sessions. This allows our algorithms to account for what's important to the artist. So far, that sounds mostly good, right? But there's more. To ensure the tool is accessible to artists at any stage of their careers, it won't require any upfront budget. Instead, labels or rights holders agree to be paid a promotional recording royalty rate for streams in personalized listening sessions where we provide the service. And there it is, a monetary component. By promotional recording royalty rate, Spotify means that the artist will take less money per play, already a fraction of a cent, in exchange for Spotify pushing their songs to the top of listeners' algorithms.
Damn, cause them artists finna be starving, bro. They finna be eating like me out this bitch, Cuddy. Oh, we're getting fancy today, bro. We're getting fancy. Really spiffy today. Sink water.
In other words, it's pay to play. Artists, especially smaller artists who can't afford a further pay cut, weren't thrilled. Because it's effectively saying if you take a cut in the pay you get when your music is played, we may push it more on the discovery page. So just a week prior, the American Union of Musicians and Allied Workers had called for Spotify to guarantee a 1 cent per play policy.
Cuddy, I want to be a rapper. Okay, big bro. I like my burgers with no onions, no pickles, man. 1 cent per play is insane, dog.
And to quote, reveal existing payola, then end it altogether. And as you've probably figured out, what Spotify did is the exact opposite of both of those things. In a statement, the union said, quote, Spotify should not be in the business of selling artist access to their own fan base. Spotify must publicly reveal where existing payola is occurring and then stop systems of paid access to make an already unequal platform even more imbalanced. Spotify argued that because there was no upfront cost, they had even the playing field, and that artists don't have to opt in.
What a bitch. Fuck Spotify, bro. I ain't gonna lie. After the whole AI playlist shit, the fact that even if you pay for Spotify, you still might get ads, Spotify can suck my dick, bro. Spotify to the same degree of my ops list as the IRS, the HOA, and Gooners, man. Fuck Spotify. I hate Spotify. But I love Sabrina.
If they don't opt in, Spotify said, their songs would still be played in radio and autoplay, just not promoted to the same degree. Which, as you can probably figure out, creates a system where if you want to get traction, you have to opt in, meaning you have to take a pay cut. This sounds an awful lot like a more convoluted present-day payola, which again, is not illegal for a streaming app to do, but is generally frowned upon by artists and consumers who prefer to share and consume their music organically rather than be force-fed whatever song a corporate entity has paid to reach you.
Man, let me be in office, Cuddy. I would fucking humble a lot of these companies. Spotify gotta go. A lot of these digital streaming services, y'all are not about to fuck my favorite artists in the ass, Cuddy. Leave them alone. All right, leave them alone. All right, after that, insurance companies, they're being dealt with expeditiously, bro. Insurance companies are getting fucked up, all right? I'm saying right here and right now, Cuddy, car insurance, house insurance, any type of insurance, Cuddy, you're being dealt with expeditiously, Cuddy. Who is calling me again? Hello? Hola? Hello? Hello? Okay. You see insurance companies, Cuddy. All jokes.
Or be forced to pay a corporate entity because everyone else is doing it and you have to keep up with competition in order to get your song out. This is the same issue that was raised over 60 years ago when the issue of pay-to-play with radio station disc jockeys was under investigation. It's just wearing a more modern face. And while yes, artists and smaller labels don't have to opt into discovery mode, by creating and fostering this environment in the first place, Spotify is basically forcing those small artists to pony up if they want to remain competitive. An independent label employee told The Guardian that, quote, discovery mode is very insidious in that it doesn't matter whether you do it or not, you're affected by it.
You're fucked.
If all of your competitors are using discovery mode and you're not, you're
even more broke, Cuddy. Read for more, bro. You out there, Cuddy. You out there. Hey, bro. Which table would you like, sir? Right there, bro.
Share is going to go down. When I started out on YouTube, or more specifically Google, has a feature where you can pay money to promote a video. It doesn't secretly promote the video. The video will pop up with the label of ad or promotion, but the idea is Google then inserts that video into a lot of recommended or up next tabs that it normally wouldn't otherwise.
But
If
still
you've
an
ever seen a
algorithm
YouTube video
components,
that's labeled as a sponsorship or ad, that's why. When I first started out on YouTube, like after the first episode of the Conspiracy Iceberg series, I saw that feature and just figured that's what everyone else does. So I paid, I think it was $100, maybe $200 to promote the Conspiracy Iceberg video, and it did nothing. Like, sure, people saw it, but because they were shown it artificially, they didn't stick around.
Yeah, it wasn't
All the
organic.
video got was a bunch of comments like, why was this an ad? Because on YouTube, anyone can start making videos, so the people that rise up tend to be, big, underlined, bold, quotation marks, tend to be pretty organic.
Exactly.
Now, imagine if YouTube was like the music industry.
Take me, for example. I record videos in my car. It's pretty organic. No, I think I remember you used to do like the pay to watch things. It was like on an old gaming video when I first started as like me dicking around and just curious to see where to go. And yeah, it did nothing as well. I got views, but the engagement was shit because like what he was saying, they didn't any kind of watch. It wasn't organic and it was force fed to them, and they spat it out.
And everyone that came in had to have labels and recording studios and producers. And if every established or up-and-coming creator had money to burn, everyone would use that feature. So then your video starting off couldn't get off the ground unless you use that feature. Effectively, in my opinion, that seems to be what's happening with the discovery mode now.
Oh, what a notice. When we're talking about music being paid, who is Blair Davey? I'm bored. Okay. Where's my 808s?
And for listeners, the tracks you're being served could be coming as a result of the label paying Spotify to give them to you, and yet you would have no idea.
I really wonder which artist is going to be the victim of this shit. Like, I feel like an artist is going to blow up because of them being force-fed to everyone. There's got to be one. Like, bruh, you hear about this new this, that, and the third? Yeah, I heard about him, bruh. He keeps popping up everywhere. Why can't he go away? I want to know who's that artist going to be.
Fundamentally, this really is no different than coming across a social media post or a video review of a product that's sponsored and doesn't disclose it, as required by the FTC. Once again, see everything I
FTC
said
gotta lock
earlier
in,
about
man.
sponsored disclosures and saying thanks to today's sponsor and whatnot. One sociologist at the UCLA studying bribery in the music industry had similar views and suggests that this agreement should fall under Federal Trade Commission laws requiring influencers to disclose advertisements. Quote, if Spotify wanted to be safe, all they'd have to do is include something in the metatext saying, this artist opted into the Discovery Mode program, or you got this certain song because it has these attributes and we provided this weight to those attributes. In response, a Spotify spokesperson disputed Discovery Mode.
Fuck you. That's all Spotify said.
As the present day equivalent of payola. While users can't see which individual tracks are there because of Discovery Mode, the About Recommendations link in algorithm-generated playlists discloses factors that may have influenced the track listing. What ends up happening is a cycle that forces emerging artists and their smaller labels to be beholden to Spotify's algorithms and force listeners to occasionally hear a top 40 song about being so hot that your lovers are addicted to you like coffee instead of the soothing sounds of a rainstorm. I don't know about you, but I certainly would prefer not to be subjected to music I'm not interested in.
I wouldn't either.
On a service I'm already paying a premium monthly subscription on. When I was in high school, my whole family was on the same Apple Music plan, which I should mention, out of all of my complaints with Spotify, I still like it over Apple Music. But when I was in high school, my youngest sister had downloaded the Afro Circus song for some reason onto her Apple Music. So the whole family got it. And because it started with an A, it was the highest song on my phone alphabetically. So every time I got into the car or connected to a speaker or did anything for like 2 years, the first sound I heard was Chris Rock screaming as loud as he could. And every time I tried to delete the song during some update or something, it would download again. And then one day I got my own account and figured it was over, but it turns out I mean, not literally Chris Rock, but that same thing of music I don't want showing up is just my life forever now, I guess. Which in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter that much, but it matters to me.
No, it matters to me as well.
At the very least, I'd like to know when such a song has come across my Now plane. For years, members of Congress have been asking for Spotify to disclose which tracks are enrolled in the program.
Fuck you, Congress. Spotify, probably.
What the agreed upon discounted royalty rate is per song. Without this, they say, Spotify is asking artists to make a blind choice, a classic prisoner's dilemma. Should they sign up for the service when they can't afford the cut in royalties and don't know what the tangible benefit will be, at a price that might be different than what their competitors are paying? Or do they opt out and suffer the potential consequences
of not being
More
pushed?
Information here is critical.
Regardless, as an artist, you're broke as shit. You're you're losing your money one way or another.
As Spotify's algorithm, curated playlist, and contracts between labels and artists are locked behind a wall of secrecy, it's difficult to discern where fair promotion and paid favoritism begins. What is clear, though, is that discovery mode isn't likely going away anytime soon.
Bitches.
Not only does Spotify profit from curated playlist, driving subscription and bundled products such as audiobooks, major labels are also able to lock in premium positioning for their artists to ensure their songs dominate and collect streams. It's a win-win for them and a lose-lose for us.
Yeah.
Unless you're Sabrina Carpenter and you happen to be watching this video. And if you're Sabrina and you're watching my videos for some reason, then it's definitely a win-win for you. Everything I'm about to read has been written in a different text font in between the other paragraphs I've been reading. And it says, if you are Sabrina Carpenter, then the content director of this channel, Randall Castillo, and he included his Instagram @ wants you to know that he's very cute and funny and excruciatingly single.
Sabrina, give my man a chance, bro. Sabrina, if you're watching this, I feel like Sabrina will watch my video. If you want, give my man Randall Castillo a chance, bro. I've known him personally, Cuddy. Hey, bro. Everyone comment one thing Randall has done for y'all, bro. Randall Castillo. That man saved my life 5 times, bro. He lent me a helping hand when I didn't need it, bro. Or when I really needed it the most. He saved me from a burning fire, bro. He rented me his Ferrari, Cuddy. My man Randall Castillo is a real one, bro. Watch me say that shit and Randall Castillo comments, hey, little bro, you still need a hotspot. Hey, little bro. Nah, I'm just playing.
You're welcome, Randall. Just for that, you're going to the basement again. As Glenn McDonald, a former, quote,
damn, Wendigoon, yeah, you messing up my man's chances. Come on, Wendigoon. Come on, Mr. Goon.
Just for that, you're going to the basement again.
Come on, come on, bro. My man Randall trying to spit some game, cause he trying to get generational wealth. Damn, Goon. I thought Krillin drove a Corolla.
As Glenn McDonald, a former, quote, data alchemist at Spotify,
Data alchemist, what a fucking data alchemist. Okay, cool.
Said, quote, if somebody operating algorithms at you won't tell you how they work, it's probably safe to assume that those algorithms are not designed to serve your interests.
Thank you, data alchemist.
Music has always been influenced by commerce, which is understandable to a certain extent, especially in the modern era, removed from cassettes, CDs, and dedicated MP3 players and replaced with streaming. But we now live in a world where every skipped track is a negative data that feeds into Spotify's algorithm and hurts the artist. Things like skits, extended intros, and interludes are long gone, replaced by earwormy hooks meant to cultivate TikTok dances, which artists must chase just to be financially stable. If there's a positive side to all of this, it's that lawmakers are paying closer attention to this issue, which, at least for now, seems to be a good thing. In February of 2025, the FCC sent out a warning to radio station owners that it is cracking down on payola practices. iHeartMedia was singled out by the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, who told iHeart CEO to prepare for more scrutiny as they investigate whether or not the media company, quote, forced musicians to choose between 1, receiving their usual, ordinary, and full-scale compensation for performing, or 2, receiving less favorable airplay on iHeart radio stations.
Talk that shit, Carr. I like that. Press these motherfuckers, bro. Cook these frauds. I like that shit, Cuddy. That's my goat, Cuddy.
result. There's no doubt that
Hey, we don't need no more rappers and fucking YouTubers and streamers, Cuddy. Take me, for example. I'm in my closet recording videos. You want to be me? Work for the FTC, Cuddy. Fix Spotify. Change the world. I love Gotcha Kuda.
technology has helped make music more accessible, which on its surface is probably a good thing.
It is.
But as they say,
Okay, craziest touchdown ever.
Tennessee
What the fuck? Why is Kevin Hart on my screen?
Titans, Music City Miracle. I called it.
I'm sorry.
I'm trucking Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I told everybody he was about to score.
You didn't.
Oh, it's my goat. Look at him. Grown man, by the way.
Tell nobody nothing. That's a
Oh, his fade is so clean.
fib.
LeBron, don't listen to what they're saying. You're not balding in my eyes. You're perfectly amazing.
New customers bet $5 to get $300 instantly in bonus bets.
Fuck DraftKings.
at what cost? The millennials and boomers, all three of you watching this video, probably remember the days of discovering music through friends at school, shared tapes and burned CDs, or from looking through the bins at Sam Goody and Tower Records.
Old asses.
Or the pleasant surprise of going to see your favorite band and discovering that the opening act is actually
Not that
pretty
bad.
good. I mean, I discovered My Chemical Romance, my favorite band, because I was in the 7th grade and someone played Teenagers because they thought it was edgy. So I went home, found the album, and became whatever I am now. Of course,
I listen. I remember my introduction to a lot of music was SoundCloud. I got introduced to Saba from SoundCloud. Smino. No, my another introduction was like the Phase Trick Shot videos. I remember Logic. I got introduced to Logic, Saba, Smino, then Kendrick and J. Cole, like, through SoundCloud. Dude, shout out SoundCloud, man.
Of course, even back then, money and record labels were a key piece of the equation. That certainly hasn't changed today. I mean, the Mafia aspect probably changed.
No, I said a Mafia. It's more so probably. I mean, the record labels are now the Mafia at this point. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's dead ass shit. The Mafia is just the record labels now.
I think.
No.
But as convenient as tailor-made playlists served to you on a wave of code can be, the algorithms used by Spotify and Apple Music are also reducing the cognitive work we do as a part of that discovery. And when you factor in the negative financial effects on emerging artists, it's safe to say that the state of music isn't quite the utopia we thought we were getting. Back when we were promised every available song and the perfect recommendation for every occasion.
I mean, it still can be that. It's just the FTC slacking, bitch. I ain't gonna lie. Why are there no regulations on Spotify and digital streaming platforms? Even like streaming in terms of like Netflix, Hulu need to be regulated at this point because a lot of the actors, voice actors don't get shit, and that's fucked. So I ain't gonna lie, this all could be a utopia. It's one step away, and it's just regulation. Someone needs to regulate these fucking streaming services, not just music, but again, even like the NBA needs to be regulated on stream, but it's not an NBA, it's the NBC contract shit. But so many things can be perfect. It's just it needs to be regulated, and I will be that person. I'm changing my major again. No, I'm playing. But bro, like everything, it's so close to being perfect. There's the perfect utopia for streaming. It just needs to be regulated because you're fucking over. Fuck the consumer. You're just fucking up the artists in general. The voice actor, the actor, the actresses, the people who worked on the film, people who worked on the show. You're just fucking them over. Like that, you go. It all could be fixed if the FTC got off their balls.
That promise is understandably alluring, but maybe it's not the ultimate solution. Especially when you're unexpectedly blasted in the eardrums by an invigorating pop song at 2 o'clock in the morning instead of the calming sound of whales.
Or Hoodie Dude.
Or, I mean, that would honestly scare me even worse than Sabrina, I think. What would be
Whales would
worse?
scare me.
Waking up at 2 in the morning to like Sabrina screaming or like you're under the ocean? What if
Under the ocean by a mile. What if you wake up to Sukina's laugh?
it was both? And that about does it for Spotify's pay-to-play conspiracy. This is a
Wait,
weird...
has anyone ever had sleep paralysis while listening to Sabrina Carpenter? They have sleep paralysis and they're listening to fucking, I don't know, bro, FNAF lore. Matt Pat's like diagnosis of the FNAF franchise. They're looking like Golden Freddy, bitch.
Rabbit hole. I knew of some of the history regarding like, you know, old record labels working with the mob to get their stuff out or work as money laundering operations. But it's interesting how, through different means, a lot of those practices have been carried on to the modern day. So we thought it was interesting and hopefully you enjoyed. And above all else, we just want to say thank you for watching.
You're
Thank you all
welcome.
so much for the support you've been showing on the channel. Again, head to wendigoon.shop to get in on the Brainwash collection while you can. This is supposed to be uploaded on Monday, so hopefully we're back on track. If not, oops. But thank you all for your understanding and support regardless. Everyone who made this video possible and worked on it will be in the description. Be sure to show them some love, unless you're Sabrina, in which I explicitly order you to not show Randall any love. What? Stay tuned for more content soon, and I believe that should do it for now. Before I go, we just want to say thank you for watching. We hope that you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.
Man, justice for my man Randall, bro.
Bye.
Oh, bye. Bro, justice for my guy Randall, bitch. Mr. Goon, how you gonna do my guy Randall like that? What the fuck? There we go. Bye!